Good morning, everybody. I'm James O'Connor. I'm the Youth Engagement Coordinator at the Huntington's Disease Association. So I kind of oversee the Huntington's Disease Youth Engagement Service and all the people that are involved in our service. Today, I just wanted to kind of highlight the sometimes unsung heroes and the young carers, some of the pressures, some of the successes that they experience, and just ways that we can help ease some of those pressures, get support, focusing kind of on lockdown, seeing how that is the position that we're all in at the moment. But obviously, outside of lockdown, there are kind of more services and more opportunities for people to come together physically rather than just virtually. So there are actually quite a lot of crossover things that happen between services like Young Carers and our service, HDS. Our focus is obviously purely on Huntington's, so we only work with children or young people who have Huntington's in their family, whereas a service like Young Carers will work with anybody who has any sort of illness within their family. So the work does cross over in some regards, but as we say, we do tend to be quite specific with our focus. So really, this morning I wanted to start off with a bit of a day in the life and talk through a scenario. I've worked with children, young people for quite a long time, probably about 10, 15 years, on and off, mostly in school and education settings. And I've been here at the HDA now for about 2.5 years, maybe. Yeah, 2.5 years, and loved every minute, if I'm honest. It's an amazing place to work. I'm very lucky in that regard. But I have kind of worked with young carers throughout the whole time I've worked with young people. And so I've kind of taken some of the tales and amalgamated many things together to just give you a bit of a brief overview of kind of a potential day in the life. I will say it from the young person's point of view, so it's not me when I say I. So I wake up at 6:30 most mornings so that I have time to do some bits around the house before going to school. Today, I woke up at 7 because I was tired and I was rushing around to get things sorted. I wake my mum up and get her out of bed before going to get my little brother up. I love my brother, but he's difficult in the mornings, hard to wake up. I got myself ready as quick as I could and checked on my mum while she got herself ready. When I checked on my brother, he was still in bed. So I know we're going to be really rushing around to get to school on time this morning. I make everyone a bowl of cereal and we ate it as fast as we could. Whilst my brother went to brush his teeth, I helped my mum with her breakfast and made her a cup of tea. My mum has powder that goes into her drink that helps her gain weight, just like bodybuilders do. I go finish off getting ready and make sure our school bags are packed just before rushing out the door. I drop my brother off at primary school and see one of my old teachers who always says hello. Then I rush for my bus, but I just missed it. I'm still not quite sure what public bus to get because I've only been there a few weeks. So I walk to school, but I know for sure that I'll be late. It's a horrible feeling knowing you're going to be late to school. And it's even worse when you know you're going to get a detention. When I get to school, the man on reception isn't very impressed with me. He asks me my name and what year I'm in. He lets me in and I go to my lesson. My teacher asks where I've been and why I'm so late, so I tell her I've missed the bus. She didn't tell me off, which was nice, but said I had to go see my head of year after the lesson. I was dreading going to see my head of year because I know they'll be mad with me and I'll get a detention. I knocked on their door and sat in their office. I told him I missed the bus because we were late getting things ready at home. It was a bit weird after that because he said it was okay. He actually said that my work at the Huntington's Disease Association had helped him understand about my mum's illness. I knew all the extra stuff I needed to do in the mornings. He was really nice about everything and made me feel better and I felt like he understood why I was late. He told me to come to him if I was ever finding things difficult or if I was struggling in school, and he would try to help. That afternoon, I saw my youth worker from the Huntington's Disease Youth Engagement Service. He's called James. We've met a few times now, and he's been to see me at school as well as home. He's taught me a lot about Huntington's, which helps me understand how I can help us all and to avoid any problems that might happen at home. It also gives me a chance to ask questions, have a bit of fun, and just talk to someone who understands. James has told me a few other things that I can do for fun. He signed me up to join a group called Young Carers, who are awesome. I've met a few people who have to do extra things at home and have to help look after their brothers or sisters or parents. We meet once a week and just get to chill, play some games. We also get a chance to talk to other adults about how we're feeling and what's going on at home. During school holidays, we even go out for trips, sometimes to a theme park, which is fantastic. Meeting with James and going to Young Carers made me feel better and give me a bit of a break. When I got home from school, me and my brother did our homework together and I helped Mum cook tea. Mum needs a bit of extra help with cooking, but I don't mind helping. Sometimes it's nice to have an activity to do when we spend time together. Some days are definitely easier than others. Everyone has to face challenges. I'm really lucky to have my family. I wouldn't change anything about them. It definitely helps to talk to James and to people at Young Carers. They told school about what it's like having Huntington's in your family, and that helped school to understand and help me when I needed them. I don't really think of myself as a young carer, but it's nice to have people there who will help me. So as I say, that's just a bit of an amalgamation of lots of different young carers that I've worked with over the years and some of their stories. And the focus there really is on how we can help, you know. As I said at the start, very much an unsung hero in day-to-day life, and can often go unnoticed in some respects. And if that young person or the child doesn't have the confidence to speak up and say what's going on at home, then school life can be very, very different. I know that in a similar scenario, children have kind of been told off and have been given those detentions, and then but when you find out about the family experience, you realise that things are different. We need to change their approach, and that's hopefully where people like myself and as I say, young carers can come into that and help raise awareness, and help kind of educate the professionals working in schools and working with families to understand what additional pressures young carers might face and how we can help them. So kind of specifically speaking about the lockdown and the current kind of pandemic that's going on, there is quite a lot of extra pressure and there isn't a lot of respite. There isn't a lot of chance for young carers to get out and blow off some steam, which can be really, really important for anybody. The homeschooling is particularly difficult for young carers. Young carers will struggle to balance their care and school responsibilities. School also provides an important support network for young carers, since young people have access to trusted adults, friends. This support has been removed during lockdown. So not only do they have to focus on the schoolwork, take care of the extra things that they will have to do in home, but as I say, they miss out on that respite, that chance to get out, see friends, speak to other adults. Services are still available. I know that schools are ringing round on a weekly basis to check in with people. There's obviously our service. We're here Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, give or take. So anyone that is enrolled in the service or anyone that isn't that would like to, we're also here. Local authorities have been released from their duties to carry out assessments for young carers moving into adulthood during this crisis. As a result, many young carers are missing out on support and future opportunities. This is one of those things that will come back into play in the future, but at the moment that is a section of the service and the support network that is currently missing. Closure of health centres and community services removed support for young carers and those they look after. Again, just keeping people inside, keeping people within the house, which is a struggle for anybody. And so as soon as you introduce things like a caring role or someone that needs the extra care, that increases the pressure and sometimes can increase stress, but not in all cases. The lockdown will put low-income families under additional strains. Young carers will no longer have access to school meals and may have limited access to large stores. Many will struggle to access the supplies they need, which, again, these things have been considered, and there's some fantastic work going on around the communities, all those volunteers that put themselves forward to help those who can't necessarily get out to go shopping for themselves. What support is available to young carers? It's vital that young carers safeguard their well-being. Young Minds is a charity focusing on children and young people's mental health and well-being, and they provide useful tips and support through this difficult time. It was just last week actually I shared a post from Young Minds about best practices, best ways of maintaining good mental health and good emotional well-being throughout this time. It is a fantastic site. I should say before I continue, all these sites and resources that we talk about will go out in an email at the end of this webinar. So don't worry if it doesn't all go in, or if you miss something, you will have a chance to kind of go into this a bit further following the webinar. Carers UK has put together a list of ideas about how carers can help look after their own mental health and well-being during coronavirus. So that's slightly more focused. Encourage young parents to speak to someone if they are struggling. Like I said earlier, we're here for any families with Huntington's. There's Childline out there who support young people, much in the same way that Samaritans do. You know, the old adage, problem shared is a problem halved, really rings true at certain points, at certain times. So it's really important to encourage people to talk as much as possible. Action for Children offers a live chat service to anyone with questions, you know, again, specifically focused on young carers, and giving them a chance to offload, access some support, and speak to someone who sometimes will just listen, which, as I said, can be really beneficial. Young carers may be worried about providing care and keeping their family safe. Carers UK has provided some information about providing care, including what the limits on going outside and getting too close to others might mean for those who are providing care. Encouraging carers to contact their school if they are eligible for free school meals but have not yet received their £15 a week food voucher. So again, if anyone is out there that knows this or is in this situation, it's really important to get hold of school, because they are a bit of a gateway for all young people services. All come to me. I'm quite happy to take that up and do that on your behalf, no problem at all. Suggest young carers get involved with the research with Caring Together, who would like to find out more about support young carers need during this time. So that's a bit like a feedback service, really. Caring Together is an online resource, and they want to know what people want, and there's nothing more important than listening to those that need the support. Contact the local young carers groups. It's a bit hit and miss, if I'm honest, as to what how they are operating and how they're running at the moment, but if there is still a virtual service available, they will be more than happy to provide that support, and with any luck the key worker for that young person will be there as well. And as I've said kind of a few times throughout it, contact us, contact me. My contact details are available. They will go out in the email following this webinar as well. I'm more than happy to signpost, to refer, or to pick some bits and pieces up and just help you get some of those things sorted and get some support in there for anyone that does need it. So quite short and sweet, but I just really wanted to focus on raising awareness more than anything.